Earlier this year, we had a big revelation for the U.S. health community. RFK Jr. announced that the FDA is going to be phasing out a bunch of toxic soup ingredients. Yeah, a bunch of food dyes. Something that we've been talking about for years on this channel, okay? Are just, not beneficial at all to anything that you're eating. Everything that has food dye is just generally not at all benefiting from its inclusion, so therefore stripping it back is exactly what's happened, well, actually, like around the world, mostly to great benefit, okay? There's a bunch of food dyes that are banned in the European Union, one of the good things that they do, banned in Canada as well, but for some reason, they're still kicking around in a bunch of states in the United States, okay? But California, in a stroke of genius, decided to get rid of 3 different ones, 2 reds and a yellow, as far as I remember, but now RFK, making America healthy again, getting rid of them full sail. But it's something that, hasn't quite taken place yet. It is just simply getting phased out. But by 2027, I do believe it was at the time that it was announced, over the next 2 years. So by 2027, they're all going to be gone, and that's a good thing. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary, announced the agency will phase out the use of 8 artificial food dyes in America's food supply within the next 2 years. The massive shakeup will free children from the toxic soup that makes up much of America's food supply, Dr. Makary said. Dr. Makary, yes, a trained surgeon, began his remarks by calling attention to the off-cited review in The Lancet, which reported ties between artificial food dyes and hyperactivity in children. So why are we taking a gamble, Makary said. The Trump administration will set a plan for food companies to follow the order to adequately phase out the use of red 40. Yeah, that's the one that has been in the news cycle for a long time. Yellow 5, 6, blue 1 and 2, and green 3 by the end of 2026, and start using natural alternatives, which the FDA will approve or deny at first. For companies that are currently using petroleum-based red dye, try watermelon juice or beet juice, Makary said, lifting all bottles of juice off his podium. For companies currently combining petroleum-based yellow chemicals and red dyes together, try carrot juice. The latest proposal also revokes approval for 2 dyes, citrus red 2, orange B, which are not as common as the other dyes included in Tuesday's announcement. Yeah, because I seem to recall talking an awful lot. It might have been red 40 and yellow 5 and 6, or maybe a blue that's in there, but could end up mixing up, 2 reds and a yellow. Maybe it was 2 yellows and a red. Who knows? Maybe I've had too many food dyes in my time, and the old head-roo was doing the old dyslexic shuffle. RFK Jr. suggested more additives could be next. I hope so. Telling the crowd, we're going to get rid of food dyes. We're gonna go down to Washington. We're gonna get rid of food dyes. Then we're gonna get rid of other food dyes. Then we're gonna head down to the FDA and we're gonna start banning all artificial ingredients. Yeah, and we're gonna get rid of every ingredient and additive in food that we can legally address. And for those ingredients that we can't ban legally, we're gonna start informing Americans about what they're eating. And yeah, man, I love to see this type of stuff, man, because there's a bunch of stuff, and as much as I say don't eat out of boxes, don't eat out of bags, people are still going to do that. So you kind of also got to protect the most vulnerable and stupid of the population, okay? Not everybody can have an average IQ. Remember, just think of the average person out there and realize that 50% of the population is in fact dumber than that. So you got to keep that in mind. So if you got to protect them as well, if you got to put up little bumper railings for these idiots, I mean, it's better than nothing, right? You can make your own choices, but sometimes some smart choices are made for you. This is existential for our country, and we have to address it. The industry is making money on keeping us sick, said Kennedy. Plan also initiates a collaboration with the NIH, National Institute of Health, to research how food dyes impact children's health and development. A new timeline follows a recent meeting where he urged the food industry executives to eliminate artificial dyes from products before his term ends in 2028. The FDA has not reached any formal agreement with the food industry to carry out these goals, though they apparently have an understanding, and the agency has not put forward a detailed plan for achieving them. But I would imagine, and especially with the holidays coming up, I cannot believe we're back here, but it's going to be something that you're going to be able to notice, especially with treats and a bunch of other stuff coming out this year, because as much as they're going to be putting in, all the Christmas stuff like that, you might see something with more natural ingredients. That's definitely going to be a selling point moving forward, okay? But when you're taking a look at certain things that are going to be hitting the shelf with brand new packaging that's on it trying to say that it's a good organic or natural ingredients, still pay attention to that ingredient list, because that cannot lie. For as much as the marketing will, you got to use your eyes, you got to use your brain. As much as RFK is generally looking out for your health, you are ultimately responsible for your health. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.